r/AskReddit. What is a true piece of advice that no one wants to hear? You can't afford that. I can. If I have a structured settlement. Just say no. Maybe it will make you / someone else uncomfortable for a sec, but you have the right to say no to people. It may not be your fault, but it's your responsibility. The joy of work. It's not your fault it happened. It's your responsibility to make sure it doesn't happen again. You don't have the authority to implement any changes to stop it happening. You can't help people who don't want to be helped. This goes for friends, family, relationships, yourself. I want to edit for clarification. There is a big difference between giving someone a dose of Narcan to stop a heroin overdose and helping them end their addiction. The latter they have to want to do. You can't change someone who doesn't want to change. Being able to purchase something and being able to afford something are two totally different concepts. The former does not imply the latter. What do you mean? If I spread my car payments over 120 months, I can afford that new BMW X5. Sarcasm obviously. There will be some people who just will not like you. There's nothing you can do about it. Don't take it personally and move on. And there are some people who will just rub you the wrong way. This doesn't mean either you or them is a bad person. You just don't have compatible personality types. If someone is making you miserable, you need to tell them. If they don't care, you need to cut them out of your life. Life's too short to let people treat you badly. Edit. To the folks in the comments. It's supposed to be what you don't want to hear. The fact that this upsets you is my point. I did this months ago and felt too guilty. I just didn't enjoy that person's company anymore. But the relief that followed was priceless. Paying now is almost always cheaper than paying later. Oh, this is huge. If you would be fine financially putting down 33% on a car instead of 30% even. Every little bit helps save you money down the road. Just because they are family doesn't mean they deserve to be in your life. Family members most commonly the ones to be abusive to you. People don't know how to handle it because they're always taught that since their abusers are family they should be forgiven, which really damages their perception of what they think is abusive. Good things won't come to you just because you want them or feel you deserve them. Getting what you want in life is a combination of hard work, intelligent choices, social awareness, natural talent, and blind goddamn luck. There is no deserve. Nothing is keeping score. Sometimes you have to look in the mirror and realize you're the problem. If everyone has the same issue with you, then it's probably just you and you should stop blaming everyone else. Better to be single than with the wrong person. Who you are on the inside means jack shit if that person is not reflected in your actions. Your actions are all that matters to the world and everyone around you, and your intentions are worthless if they don't lead to you performing said actions. Does not matter in what facet of life. This is always true. You are what you do. It's not who you are underneath. It's what you do that defines you. Batman Begins. You spend too much time on Reddit. I will not tolerate such slander. Everyone thinks they want the truth, but most people want the truth to fit their worldview. Be honest, but know that it has a price. Rather than a price, I would say it has consequences, and those consequences can be both good and bad. If you have bad blood with many people and have drama constantly, you need to sit down and think you're probably the problem. My ex-best friends were like this. I never realized that most people aren't in drama like that all the time, and they were definitely the problem. What do you do when your problems are seemingly innocuous things about your personality or things you believe should be non-negotiable? That is, your opinions on matters, your lifestyle, choice of dress, or what have you? You cannot make someone love you. Stop giving people who cheated on you a second chance. It may be worth it if the person is your partner for like 8 years, but if you have been together for 4 months and they cheated, she doesn't love you. Time to move on. I just got out of a somewhat bad relationship. Whenever I told my ex I love you, he replied, "Thank you, Dart." Sometimes when we fought, he asked me why we were still together. I answered, "Because I love you." He always told me that's not enough. I thought he meant that love was not enough to build a relationship, that we needed actions. After we finally split up, I understood. He was saying my love wasn't enough because he didn't love me. So, Yep, I wish I had this advice before. You know, one of the reasons why 50 Shades of Grey became a worldwide bestseller while the book you've been toiling over for the better part of a decade is destined to die in obscurity? Because E.L. James actually finished the ducking thing. No one wants to read the first third of a novel, no matter how good it might be. Suck it up and finish your damn projects. And have other people steal the credit? I think not. Stop spending your money with bullshit. I know, but depressive mania is a beach and Amazon is so easy. Looks matter in a relationship. It sucks to hear, especially because media keeps trying to tell us that looks don't matter, or at least guys anyway. Women are kind of out of luck there for the most part, and I'm sorry for that, but it's the truth. I'm not saying looks are the end all be all of a relationship. They aren't. Whether or not your personalities are compatible is almost always going to be the deciding factor in any successful relationship. But the simple fact of the matter is that it's an incredibly rare thing to be in a romantic relationship with someone that you don't find at least somewhat physically attractive. Yes, it sucks, but better to hear it early and accept it than to lie to yourself and deal with that reality later in life. Shitty people do not change unless there's something deeply and profoundly in it for them, and even then, they still may decide that being shitty is more valuable. This is especially true of abusive partners. YTF would they stop abusing you when abusing you gets them everything they want? Edit. Also, being smart is not all it takes to succeed in the world, and in fact I would say it's a tiny fraction of what you need. Most people don't really care about your feelings. Or you at all really, only how you make them feel. I'll provide you with a song quote, where you invest your love, you invest your life. You will fail a lot. Nobody wants to listen to your podcast. I work in marketing, and every month somebody from another department comes to us with the idea to start a podcast. Some of them actually did. 0 have been remotely successful. They seem to miss the part where you have to create entertaining content. Your podcast has to be so good that people want to listen to it more than they want to watch The Office or something. If you have to resort to asking questions about the fundamental nature, livelihood, or longevity of your romantic relationship on the internet, the chances are it's unhealthy and not going to last. For girls, dating bad boys is not a good idea. It's a polite word for shitty relationship. For boys, most girls do like nice guys, but maybe you're not as nice as you think. Don't ignore your gut. Those red flags are there for a reason. Yep, at my last colonoscopy my doctor had to take me aside and tell me to stop eating them. Semicolon. Stop complaining about being overweight and start doing something about it. Stop complaining about being overweight and start doing something about it. Think this applies to a lot of situations. If you just got off your ass and did it already, it would already be done. Not every girl that talks to you wants to date you. Especially if it's part of her job to be nice to you. Just shut up. There's a time where you need to just keep your mouth shut before problems arise and people don't want to hear it. I like that quote that floats around on Reddit every once in a while from a teacher to their students. All of you have a little bit of "I want to save the world" in them. That's where you're here in college. I want you to know that in your entire life it's okay if you only save one person. And it's okay if that person is you. Get your shit together first before doing anything else, or else you'll always be in a hole. Majority of parenting advice. Feed your baby. Know your worth. You shouldn't waste your time on someone who doesn't deserve you. I know my worth, and it's ducking 0 mayo. You are a 10 out of 10 to me, ops mom's tits. You aren't supposed to be beaming with happiness every second of every day. Some days, you're going to be down, and it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. But, if you think you are depressed, the hard truth is you have to put in effort to get better. No, eating an apple and going to the gym once won't make things better automatically. You need to build momentum. You need to make little changes here and there that will eventually add up. But there is no quick cure. There is no flip switch. Yes, getting out of bed is hard, but you have to do it. No one can just make you do it. Stop passing the buck and start being responsible for yourself. If the same bad thing keeps happening to you, it's time to accept you might be the problem. No one has that bad of luck. I saw a quote the other day that rings true. If you meet an a-hole in the morning, you probably just met an a-hole. If you meet a-holes all day, you're probably the a-hole. Get your priorities straight before doing that. Figure out a way to become financially secure first, then pursue what you love to do. Your love can't change people. They were like that before you knew them and they will continue to be that way. Save at least 10% of your income. Stop obsessing about that person. They are clearly not that into you. My friend is obsessed with a guy who she barely knows. He just says hi to her at church. She saw him at a concert making out with his girlfriend and she lost it. Couldn't function for days. She said how he's a total piece of shit. How he used her, etc. He never gave her any signals. Doesn't even know her name. She just made up a story in her head. 3 years later she's still obsessing about her lost love and sometimes says he's totally into me. He was so nervous when saying hi today. He wants me. File your tax returns and pay your damn taxes. Getting flagged by the IS state government is worse than any credit card company, university or hospital. If you want to feel like you're not dying when you walk upstairs or even just getting up, toss those cigarettes and move more. It's always more difficult in your head. Not always. Sometimes it's the opposite. Try and enjoy time with your parents. One day they will be gone and you will regret not hanging with them as much. If you're reading this right now, you've most definitely got something better to do and can't admit you're procrastinating miserably. Or if you can, that it's even sadder that you're willing shooting yourself in the foot, myself included. The reason you're in this mess is because of your poor decision making. You're not hungry. You're just bored, tired, sad, angry, happy, nervous, psychotic, procrastinating, etc. Nobody is thinking about you as much as you are. You won't be remembered. Memories of you will fade after your kids die. Stop drinking. There's no excuse to be an a-hole. No excuse. Not even mental illness, difficult circumstances. You can still be kind or at least apologize if you behave poorly. Knee. Puts money on red. Roulette lands on black. Friend. OMG, why didn't you put it on black? I don't gamble, but situations like this where people use hindsight as advice and kind of have a go at you for it is total and utter BS. Edit. Hindsight. She isn't worth it. Bro, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content. It's free and that's a great price.